The HPA gun. Loved by many, so much so that some believe they're the future of airsoft. But over the years, two companies have dominated the market, and they would be under the banners of PolarStar Airsoft and Wolverine Airsoft. These two leading brands have pushed builders to put together some of the best builds, and over the span of my top series, we've seen just a few of those builds. The owners may run tanks on their backs or in their stocks, their replicas may be a bit more pricey than what we can afford, and the users behind those reps would always be looking for the perfect consistency. But what happens when we pin those two giants head to head in a 3-round matchup? Well, today we'll be doing just that to switch things up, and this time, you'll be the ones to vote who takes the win. And you can get your votes in by either commenting Team PolarStar or Team Wolverine when you're sure who took the win for this show. But let's get into this new USAirsoft Original before this intro becomes bland. This is the PolarStar vs Wolverine build-off. Now I took in over 160 builds over a span of a week, and I'm going to do my best to show off as many of those HPA guns as I can. But let's get into this battle with round 1 that is held by 3 solid HKs, which includes Theo of California, Nick of the UK, and DeEil of Virginia. Now Theo would be first up, and he's representing Team PolarStar with his Bingo Custom Tokyo Marui MP7. To no surprise, Rudy Hidalgo of Bingo Airsoft Customs would have a part to play in this show, and that would be because he's one of the legendary builders that players turn to when they have an idea for a gun that they just can't pull off by themselves. Now Rudy only made 40 of these, but this CQB beast was equipped with an extended 10.5 inch inner barrel that's backed up by a foam-filled suppressor, a firefly bucking, and a red pop pit valve, which makes up the $1,000 price tag for this MP7. Theo also claims it can knock out targets at 200 feet at 350 feet per second at 40 psi, and it's all thanks to the fusion engine, which he states that he used because he already knows how it works and he couldn't imagine using anything else. But countering Theo's fusion engine would be a Wolverine fan named Nick with his ICS MP5 SD with a Spartan system inside the body. Now this subgun was made for CQB just like the MP7 we saw, but Nick made sure to throw in a 217mm Type bore barrel, a Mad Bull red hop-up bucking, and a Swordfish front end, and a triple rail kit on the outside. Nick chose a Wolverine Spartan kit because it's just so easy to install, and because it doesn't need a separate fire control unit to be altered. But to make this all come together, Nick did have to sink $725, but if we're looking for the most expensive build for this round, DeEil would be the one taking that medal, and it would be for this PolarStar Classic Army MC51/MP5SD combo build. Think of this as a cross between a long rifle and a close quarters SBR. That's a bit more unique than the sea of M4s out there. Sorry, but even though you guys can put together some good looking Milsim ready setups, they wouldn't be exactly unique. But I still like a lot of them. But moving on to the internals of this Virginian build, we would have an R-Hop ZCI barrel with the G&G bucking, a Lightning banjo, and a version 2 Generation 3 fusion engine. But the Laylax Nitro rail sleeve, G3 EBR stock, Magpul AFG, Surefire flashlight, and Aimpoint Comp M4 would be on show outside, which makes an $1,100 build. And there we would have our competitors for the first round. Can Theo and DeEil double team Nick? Or do you think that MP5 Swordfish is a step above another MP7 and a heavy old Classic Army G3? Well, don't make your vote yet because we have another round coming up. And it's round 2. And in this round we'll be taking a look at two really differing reps that are on the outside worlds apart. Like this VFC Scar H SSR from Ryan would not be confused for this hybrid AK machine from Josh of Texas. This time it's Wing of the UK with Simonson of Norway, and it looks like the DMR owner of the two is coming out first with this GMP M14 EBR. Now Wing had to modify his version 7 gearbox extensively to get this Wolverine Hydra unit to fit in properly, which called for a bit of German work, especially around the motor cage, so his amp grip line could fit. Wing also threw in a 6.03 Prometheus inner barrel and a Promi purple bucking that brought his total to around $650. This is where an HPA unit can really shine, as most of us should know what kind of range our systems are known for. So seeing a Hydra kit inside of an old GMP EBR just makes sense, but on the other side of the spectrum, we're trading pinpoint accuracy for suppressive fire. This is Simonson with his S&T MG42, and this would be also in Wolverine SMP, which makes things more even from being double teamed in the last round. Simonson's plan with this MG42 was to turn into an MG3 with a list of mods, which also includes a built-in tracer unit with modified mags to double down on his ammo loadout. Because what's an MG without a healthy supply of ammunition, even after an hour of non-stop firing? Now if you're looking at this right now, you should know that this is not a cheap piece, as it's about $1,600 to put together. But that's what you should expect of a gun that you can just hook up to a tank and forget about any worrying. This is Simon's workhorse, and I've already seen what an AEG version of this S&T can do, so I'm pretty sure that this is a sight for sore eyes whenever his team needs him in a pinch. And it looks like that would be the end of round 2, and it looks like Wolverine is doing really well now. But would they still be in the lead if Mackenzie didn't take a top spot long ago in a previous show? I mean, this 1990 and F2000 are real powerhouses that I would love to run any day of the week. but he already knows how much I love his collection. And there would be other M14s out there, like this one from Nikolai, or this truly set for BB Wars DMR from Martin. The world is full of great work out there, but if that's true, then what's being saved for the final round? Here we are at round 3, and it's been a pretty great show for our first build off, so let's push the envelope a bit more to see some real unique stuff. I've got 4 more builders for you, and I'm curious to see what you guys will think about the last 2 setups. So let's get into this with Stefan of Delaware, Blake, Michael of New Hampshire, and Adrian of California. So first up from Team PolarStar, we have Stefan with the G&G FNC. Now I own one of these myself, so I can attest to how solid this rifle is. And if you'd like to go check out that review, then go ahead and check the link that I'll leave in the description down below. Now it looks like no other mods but the fusion engine drop-in was really done to this piece. But Stefan rigged it to shoot 350 feet per second with .32 gram BBs. Now the FNC is already a solid classic with great range out of the box, so throwing a PolarStar engine into the body must feel like using cheat codes in a Tony Hawk's game. And I'm talking Pro Skater 3 or 4, none of that Lil Wayne Pro Skater 5 stuff. But moving on with another P-Star, we have Blake with his really unique bullpup, the Real Sword Type 97. This is hands down my favorite gun that was submitted, and I'm happy that I could get it for the show. If I could own any bullpup, it would be the Type 97. And even though I'd leave it alone, at least mod-wise, I still like how this one came out because he did it right. Throw in a version 2 Gen 3 fusion engine, a PDI barrel, a G&G green flat hot bucking, and a red poppet, and you would have this bingo custom beauty. Blake also said that he prefers the fusion engine over the Wolverine as it gets more tunability and because the FCU is better in his opinion. And yeah, you did hear me right, this is another Bingo Airsoft's custom piece. But what do you expect now? But I've already seen my favorite gun in this show, but it's time for the Wolverine builders to strike back with 2 completely different wonder weapons, or Nerf weapons. Yeah, say hello to the last Rudy Hidalgo Bingo Customs gun in the form of a Nerf Rhino, and there would be only 2 of these that were ever made. This is a double-barreled, plastic-bodied piece with a lot of 3D printed parts inside. Michael said that he's not the type to take Airsoft seriously at all, and this gun should reflect that even if people look at this and cringe in their boots. The barrels at the end make like amps, and you can choose to either shoot one barrel or both at the same time. And you can even pivot each inner barrel to shoot either left or right slightly. I don't know what to say anymore. You pretty much get everything you need here to make people admire something special while at the same time being able to use this thing to mow down your enemies at a long range. As long as you don't mind being scoffed at by the elitists out there. All you need now is to tape a cup holder to the side of the body and you should be set. But to seal the coffin of the Wolverine fun would be Adrian with his work in progress bullpup. Yep, it's another Nerf gun, but to be honest I did laugh at this gun whenever I saw it would be filling a spot in this show. But not in a negative way. Built on a Boneyard M4 by Adrian, we would have a Nerf bullpup that's held together by what else but hot glue and epoxy. This has got to be the most chilled out gun I've ever seen, and it was mostly built on broken and donor parts. But Adrian said what sold him to drop an S&P in this thing was the unbeatable trigger response that no EG or gas gun could be. But what I would like to see Adrian do with this thing is to add a stupid long suppressor to the barrel's end, then spray paint that yellow, add a pair of end busts that would probably be taped to the top, and get those yellow banana high caps if you remember those from a while ago. And after that, go ahead and add a KWA tag wrapped around the trigger guard. Then after that, you should probably go and engrave FaZe Clan to the body, and then you're done. But with that, it looks like we've come to the end of this show, which means it's time for you to vote for the build-off winners. Would it be Team PolarStar with their close quarters HKs and their classic guns, or will you favor Team Wolverine with their DMRs and their relaxed styled Nerf conversions? And keep in mind, what you saw here is not the very best. There's a lot more out there that we haven't seen. I'm just grabbing a few of the little beauties that have been submitted. But it's time for you to make your choice in the comments down below, and be sure to vote up this video 300 likes if you'd like to see another build off like this one day. I'd like to thank everyone who submitted, and I'd like to thank you for watching this video. And of course, thanks to Beats by Neves for supplying this show with his music. Be sure to find his channel with the links in the description if you're looking for free music for your channel. And stay tuned for more US Airsoft content because I'm looking to really shake up the community in a bit with a special little countdown, either coming at the end of September or in early October. But this has been Scott Slade Hollenbeck from the city of San Antonio, and I'll be sure to see you all next time. And hey, a little word of advice to all your speed softers out there. You guys should get your game faces on.